Florida, come on up to the front. Let me ask you a question. Which families do you think are going to be forced to go work at the age of 14?
They want to allow teenagers as young as 14 to work overnight shifts even on school days. How is this real life? If you haven't heard, since Florida has been implementing harsher laws towards undocumented immigrants, there has been a shortage of people to work there. Surprise! Who would have thought? Everyone? And a solution that people have put forward is to allow child labor, is to lessen the rules that exist to protect young people. Y este pedazo de basura, Ron DeSantis, has already showed his support towards it. Sure, this could solve part of the economic problem that they're having, that they caused themselves. But what about the damage on young people? The biggest change they want to make is to remove limitation of how many hours teenagers can work after school. Teenagers' education and well-being should be our top concern here, because overworking, not sleeping, not being able to get the education they deserve will impact them for the rest of their lives. Changes like this one will impact their development, and it says a lot that they'd rather go through these measures than to create opportunities for people that are here without proper documents to work legally. I think this is bonkers. Pero familia, what do you all think?
Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I came across this on my FYP where Florida is planning to enact a policy that can allow children from 14 years to be able to work even on school days, work at night. They don't mind. You all already know that this state is a pure red state, so they do not like undocumented migrants. They voted against the whole they voted for mass deportation, and a lot of their workers were sent back to their countries, and now because they don't have enough workers on ground to take up jobs, they are now allowing children that age of 14 to come work in or take over those jobs that migrants were working. Anyway guys, let's go ahead, watch some clips I'll gather for you guys, then we come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Please do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch.
Republicans want to bring back child labor to solve labor shortages due to their mass deportation campaigns. Florida Republicans are pushing for a bill that would loosen child labor laws in a desperate attempt to fill jobs left vacant by mass deportations. The proposed law, which will be debated this week, would allow children as young as 14 to work overnight shifts, something that is currently prohibited. If passed, the bill would give employers the right to schedule teenagers, some of whom are in middle school and high school, to work on school days, even late at night, without the current limits on work hours. Governor Ron DeSantis supports the bill. Of course he does, claiming that young people, including teenagers and college students, should fill the jobs that were left vacant by recently deported workers. He believes that requiring children to work these jobs is a solution to the state's labor shortage. Anybody with a brain, though, can see how this plan could exploit vulnerable children. Loosening child labor protections will only fuel inflation and create further labor shortages as workers are pushed into more difficult and unsafe jobs. Child labor laws were put into place to protect young workers from harmful conditions, but this new bill threatens to reverse those hard fought-for protections. Florida has already made it easier for children to work in recent years. Last year, a law was passed allowing homeschool teenagers to work at any hour of the day. The state has also made employers check the immigration status of their workers, leading to fines for those who don't comply. But as child labor violations rise, nearly tripling in recent years, Florida's plan to ease regulations is sacrificing the welfare of children for the sake of filling these jobs.
Well, apparently there are such labor shortages in Florida due to the immigration crackdowns that Governor Ron DeSantis and the Republicans in the legislature there in Florida want to loosen child labor laws to fill the gap. That's right. We're going to bring back child labor because they made a decision to try to deport 15 million undocumented workers. And guess what happened? The workers disappeared. This is exactly what we said would happen when this immigration crackdown began, is that you are taking people out of jobs that other people don't want and deporting them, which means then those jobs are not filled and those services do not get rendered. And now Republicans' idea of this is, rather than say, whoa, maybe we shouldn't be doing all of this deporting, is to fill the void with teenage kids. When we say that the Republicans are not a serious party, this is why. They would rather children work jobs than have undocumented workers here doing that hard work, paying those taxes instead. So much for the family values party, huh?
Can we talk about how disheartening it is to be an attorney right now? Like, I'm kind of losing it. I'm trying to lock in and stay focused, but what's going on right now, complete disregard of the Constitution, the administration going after law firms, and now this affects me personally because I'm in the state of Florida. They're trying to loosen child labor laws, and this is all to address the migrant labor shortage. They're trying to eliminate regulations that are put in place to protect minors from working after hours, after 11 and before 6 a.m. And they're trying to pay them less than the minimum wage. If this is a proposed bill, like, who thought this was a good idea?
Don't even understand. Like, you deported people because you said you do not want these people. All of a sudden, you are taking jobs from these people and giving to a minor. Like, make it make sense. You said you do not want undocumented migrants and how they are taking American jobs, like taking American job, and all of a sudden you can no longer afford to, to keep them, like you made them go, and now you do not have those people that they took those jobs from. Like, where are those Americans who needed these jobs that migrants took away? That's what I want to understand. Like, where are they? Those Americans who migrants have taken away their jobs. Where are they? Why are they not coming out to take up these jobs? Why make a minor go to work at night on school days, and top of that you're going to be paying them lower than the minimum wage? Exactly. Make it make sense, because it's no longer making sense to me, because I felt that you had plans while you voted for mass deportation. Then you should have plans on how to make workers fill up this jobs that are being done by migrants, right? And all of a sudden you guys are no longer interested in working. How many of you are going to let your kids do this, like go out there and work on school days? Please share your thoughts. Like, you guys, this is no longer making sense to me. Just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, guys.
So Florida's immigration crackdown has led to a lot of jobs remaining open, and Florida is hoping to replace those workers with children. This is Senate Bill 918, which has already passed a state Senate committee. This bill, if voted into law, would allow children as young as 14 to work overnight shifts even on school days. Also, it would allow children over the age of 16 to work more than 8 hours per day and more than 30 hours per week without a meal break. Now, this comes after Florida already tried to introduce a bill that would allow companies to pay workers less than minimum wage. And also, if parents opt in, their children could be paid below minimum wage. You're a terrible parent if you're opting in for this. This is Republican logic. Instead of appreciating immigrants, undocumented workers, giving them a pathway to a citizenship, and actually, thanking them for the job that they do that others won't, none of that, but let's bring back child labor. And remember, to keep up with news stories like these, sign up for my newsletter, check out my podcast or one of my other social media channels, link in bio.
So Florida has fucked around, and now they're finding out. And you know who's paying the price? Children. Due to the mass deportations in Florida, Florida is experiencing a major labor shortage. And in order to combat this, they are relaxing child labor laws. Not only are they relaxing child labor laws, but they're also introducing a bill that would allow companies to pay less than minimum wage. SB 918 would relax child labor laws and would allow children as young as 14 to start working overnight shifts. Now, while introducing SB 918 is bad enough and would allow children to work overnight shifts even during the week on school days, they are also introducing HB 1225. And what this does is it allows organizations and corporations to offer apprenticeship roles or internships, which would allow people to accept less than minimum wage for the job. So not only is Florida using child labor to fill this labor shortage, they're also putting in place laws and regulations to allow corporations to take advantage of the situation and to pay less than minimum wage for that labor.
Why Florida considering getting rid of the child labor laws or lifting the child labor laws? Because all of the jobs that the undocumented immigrants had, they can't fill them. Let me get this straight. You got rid of undocumented immigrants, and now you can't find bodies to do these jobs. So your thought was, how about we make the workforce younger? we allow people as young as 14 years old to be able to work overnight. They don't, school? Who cares about school? They're making me money. Those kids don't need to get rest. They stay up all night playing video games anyway. They might as well work. Instead of the adults who just happen to be in the country illegally. Instead of getting those adults the proper citizenship, that way they can continue to do the work, we're just going to get rid of them and then make children do it. So we can groom them and they can become the type of people we want them to be. Right. Somebody come tell my 14-year-old that they got to work overnight on a Tuesday. You would never see it again.
Well, it seems the Florida legislature is trying to fix their labor shortage problem, brought on by the laws in place that have driven all immigrants out of the state. And according to the governor, they don't need immigrants when they have teenagers to do the work. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Yeah, teenagers should be working. Well, what the Florida legislature is considering to fix this shortage is ending the limit on how many hours 16 and 17-year-olds can work, as well as eliminating guaranteed meal breaks, and lifting the work hour restrictions for 14 and 15-year-olds, allowing them to work overnight shifts on school nights. These jobs that they want teenagers to work are underpaid that nobody else wants to do. And in the end, these lawmakers don't really care if these kids' education gets hurt in the process. As long as the wealthy can keep bringing in their money, right? It's always those without that have to pay for the government's shitty-ass choices. No child should have to work while they're in school. Period. End of story. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I guess Magas are beginning to realize that they made a huge mistake, because tell me the reason why somebody will vote for this. Like, is this what you really wanted? You wanted your children, your minors, to go work and occupy jobs that nobody really wants to do except the undocumented people you guys didn't want in your state. And right now, your kids will be the ones doing this job. No child deserves this. Nobody deserves this. You do not want immigrants in your state. You don't want them in your country. Now you are now waking kids that are supposed to be sleeping, preparing for school. You now want them to go do the job that those migrants would have done for you, or adults would have done for you. Your adults who migrants were taking their jobs are nowhere to be found anymore. So because they are nowhere to be found, you said, okay, let's send the kids, let them go do the work. And now these children can no longer go to school properly, because if you work night shift, you have to sleep in the morning. So what time do you have to go to school? Or you go sleep in class? Anyway, what are we even talking about for a people who voted for the Department of Education to be shut down? Then what exactly were you expecting from them except this? For people who do not care about children education. And now all of this is what you guys voted for. Does it really make sense? Was it worth it at the end? I really want to hear from Magas, because this is getting out of hand. Like, whenever you watch some of these videos, you just wonder, what part are they even thinking from? Okay, you said that, oh, they are playing video games at night, they don't sleep at night, so let them go do the job that nobody have to do. Let them just go do that job instead of them staying up at night playing video games. Like, what do you mean by all of that? What do you mean? Is it not in the same Florida that are trying to remove the whole meals like they give to children at school? Is it not in the same place? Because I don't understand. Please let me know. Is it the same state that are trying to remove the whole feeding kids at school, the lunch food or something like that? Their lunch. Is it not the same place? And now you want to send kids to go work at night and do jobs and get paid, underpaid, not just paid, but underpaid. Anyway, guys, share your thoughts with me in the comment section, because I just want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about this whole Florida new law that they are planning to enact. Let's know what your thoughts are in the comments, and please do subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I look forward to seeing you all on my next video and my next video and my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button already. See you guys. Bye.